Hello and welcome to Won't Be Forgetting That, a podcast talking about all of the most awkward and embarrassing moments of people working in the arts and entertainment industry. I'm your podcast host, Seb Muirhead, and today we have a guest. They are an actress, a writer, a podcaster, Tamzen Hayes.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming on, mate.
No, thanks for having me.
Oh, no. Genuinely, I say this every time as well. My pleasure.
Aw.
I've yet to not thank someone for coming on as well. So if in the future, at any point, if any of you beautiful perverts listening do hear me to forget to thank someone, it's not because I'm not happy that they're on. It's just because I'm an idiot. But I wanted to start off by saying you actually reached out for one of the stories I posted on the old Instagram and said that you had something very similar with one of your embarrassing experiences.
Yeah.
So not to jump the gun yet, but I was wondering if you wanted to maybe start off with having some awkward driving stories on set, or if you have a specific way you've come in with, then I'm more than happy to do that as well.
No. I do have a driving story, but it's hard because it's a tricky one because it kind
You
of
ran over someone on set.
I mean,
Oh fuck! Allegedly.
I can tell you I was filming. I'm just going to say something because it gets a little dicey.
Still
Filming something.
embroiled in a legal battle, are we?
No. It's just like I'll tell you the story and then
No, please. I'm not pushing.
Yeah.
I'm not. This is the first time I met Tamzen in person. I am not bullying her to telling me the name of anything. We don't even have to tell the story if we don't want to.
No, but it's true. Like you posted this thing about driving on set and then I was like, oh my gosh, driving on set is the worst. It's the
genuinely
worst.
sucks. And I'm a stunt performer myself as well. So I've done like a few courses, stunt driving courses. It's never the level I'm at. It's never glamorous. It's mostly parking on a very specific spot and trying not to run over extras. They're the two main things you need to do. And I tell you what, the parking's hard, but not running over extras is even harder.
Oh my goodness.
They are.
You can't control extras. You can't tame them.
I always say it's like wrangling cats, but yeah, like they're just, as soon as the camera's on, something switches inside of them and they just do whatever they want.
Like moths to a flame.
It really is, isn't it? Moths to a moving vehicle.
To a moving vehicle.
But yes, sorry, please do tell us about your horrible driving experiences.
Yeah, so it was about 4 days and I had a little practice in the car. That was all good. But what I didn't know is going into this because they were filming me driving.
Yep.
So all the car itself was rigged from the outside with cameras and lights to the point where there's no vision. Like you can't see through the front windscreen. I had no idea that that's what... But of course it is. I just had not thought about that
sometimes it is.
at all.
So in this particular situation, are you driving the car itself then, and it's just got like a front mounted camera and all the light shining in so your face is illuminated and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so I'm driving.
Yeah,
and
right.
There's, I think, 2 cameras. There was one mounted on the bonnet.
Wow.
With lights around it.
Yep.
And then another one on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
And then lights on the other window. So
Holy shit.
My vision was about... What I could see through the front
Yep.
was about the size of my palm. They had made a spot and they were like, this is where you look through when you drive. And we were driving on real roads.
Were the roads closed?
They closed the roads for us.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank God. Like, even still though, that's
Even
terrifying.
still, it's so scary. One, actually, the first road, where the main story is a road that was blocked off for us in the CBD of Melbourne.
Holy shit.
Yep. And I couldn't see anything. And I had to act. I had lines in the car. I had another actor next to me in the passenger seat. Wow. And then the director lying down on the back seat, holding the split.
Wow.
And talking to me basically the whole time.
Yeah.
So it was a lot and I was pretty nervous.
I would be terrified.
There was a car, like a production vehicle in a car.
Yep.
Oh, wait, that's what it is. I'm
Production vehicle inside
in
the
a
car.
Yeah, a production team inside a car in front of me. So basically what I was doing was through my tiny little palm-sized vision was following the car in front. So they had a car that I could see and I could see their light and I just followed that.
Right.
But I had to speed was the other thing.
Wow. What you're talking about as far as like a speed goes?
Oh, I don't remember, but it was definitely like 150, 160. It was
kilometers an hour in the CBD.
Yeah, so we'd go up straight really fast.
Jesus Christ.
And then we'd kind of turn around so and like speed back down the street.
That's fucked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. And I mean, like, I'm sure the production was safe about it and everything as well. And
do you know how much better that makes me feel? Because the whole time I was like, oh, I'm such a bad actor.
No, that's
this is so hard for me.
So fast as well. I would feel uncomfortable doing that speed on a highway if I had to do like any acting, let alone with all of this. I mean, just crap in your face, essentially, where you can't see past.
You're making me think maybe it wasn't that fast, but it felt really fast.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was that it's supposed to be a speeding scene. Like, it's supposed to be speeding. So the director who's laying down is like, faster, 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 go faster, faster. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It was terrifying.
Holy shit. Well, I mean, I'm glad you're okay for a start.
Well, the thing that happened...
Oh, my God. All right. No, sorry. I spoke too soon. Fuck.
The thing that happened during this was, yes, the road was closed and we had production teams holding pedestrians so they wouldn't cross the road.
I mean, there's only so much you can hold back pedestrians sometimes as well.
Yes, they were holding them back, being like, you can't cross. But I'd turned the corner and I was about to do my next sprint up the next street.
Yeah.
And through my tiny little bubble of vision, I saw a person flash in front of me.
Oh, my God.
And I slammed the brakes on, and the director was pretty upset that I'd stopped because they were like, why are you stopping? And I was like, someone just ran across the road. Someone just ran across the road. And then I just wouldn't drive anymore. Yeah. And I was like, can someone see what's going on? And it was a mum and a kid. And they'd run across the road. They totally hadn't seen that people were being held back because they'd come straight out of a building. So they hadn't been walking across the street. They just come out of the front door of a building and just crossed and ran right in front of the car. And then it was so hard to explain to the production team because no one was they were watching my face.
Yeah, of course.
The split was on my face. No one was watching the road. Like, no one could see what I could see. And the director, once he realized what had happened, was fine, but just couldn't understand in the moment why I'd stopped. And then they'd had to call CUT and everything had to stop. And it was like, oh, this is my fault. I've stopped this. And I was like, no. I would have hit like someone.
A mother and child as well.
Why is this happening? And then I cried.
Oh my God. I do not blame you. I probably would have done the same thing as well. I
was so stressed.
So full on.
And then it took ages for me to be okay getting back in the car again. And we still had a couple of more days of shooting.
And you were saying, was that 3 or 4 days of that scene as well?
Not that scene. There was multiple scenes. It was just one day of that particular scene. Right. And then we had like a highway, speeding up a highway the next day.
Oh my God. And first of all, I've worked on a few things where they've filmed people actually driving inside the car. A lot of the time it's green screen though, where you're sitting in like a shed, essentially. Right. It's like a studio and it's green screen behind.
I feel bad. Maybe it wasn't 150. It felt like that. It definitely was that when we were on the highway.
Like absolutely.
Maybe it wasn't that fast, but it was really fast.
Oh, too fast, obviously.
Yeah.
Especially for driving through the CBD, the Melbourne CBD's 30, 40 at tops probably that you're used to driving through.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Oh my God. Most of the time as well, when you've got your lead vehicle, it's basically you're just sitting behind a truck which is towing the car and you're pretending to drive.
I've heard about that.
Yeah. That's the only way I've never seen anyone actually. I'm sweating. I
have pictures and stuff of the rigged car.
Yeah, my God.
I was like, I'm taking photos of this. This is wild.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely try and post them on Instagram afterwards if it's allowed. But that is so stressful.
Yeah. So I'd also it's no one's fault. It wasn't the production. They had everything was right. It was just unfortunately a split second of, I don't know, someone not realizing this was happening, coming straight out of a building, straight onto a road. It was awful. And it just, my biggest thing about being an actor and being on set is my biggest fear is ever looking unprofessional. That's my biggest worry. Oh,
for sure. So many people feel like that as well. Yeah.
So I feel like I almost get myself into worse situations or I embarrass myself further because of my need to be professional and do the right thing in all situations and listen to the right people and know who everyone is on set and so after that happened, I remember I was sitting in the stopped car just crying and the director was like, I don't understand what happened. What's happening? Because no one else could see it.
No. And when you say the director and the production team are watching a split, for anyone that doesn't know, it's basically just a little monitor which is showing exactly what's being shown on camera.
Yeah.
Which a lot of the time is just a person's face. Like,
yeah.
you get
Which in this,
no
yeah,
other
which
information.
is my face. So
Yeah.
no one else saw the people.
Yeah.
Until after, obviously, because
of
they
course,
were
yeah.
there. So then we had production team kind of go and find them because they were
Yeah.
still in the street and like be like, hey, you just ran in front of a
Hey,
car.
you
Like,
almost died.
yeah. And then it just took me so long to be able to get back in the car.
Yeah.
And it took me so long to stop. I think I must have been having a panic attack. It took me so long.
I'm not surprised, honestly.
And then I started feeling so guilty for holding up production and crying for too. And then I was like, get back in the car, Tamzen, like, you can do this, like, stop crying. But I couldn't. And then I held up the day so long. And then I was like, it's all my fault.
Genuinely, I don't know anyone out there that would be like, oh, this girl almost killed someone and is now upset about it. How dare she? I think everyone would be fully understanding as well. Like, if you're like, I'm not coming out with a trailer, I don't like my makeup. That's fair enough if people are upset by that. But like, genuinely, that's such a stressful situation. I can't believe that's how they filmed it. I'm genuinely, like, I'm just taken aback. I'm lost for words, which is great for a podcast as well. But like, wow, that is fucked.
I just thought that was normal.
No, I mean, maybe. I haven't worked in every TV show, obviously, but I've never seen that before.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure there are ways of it doing it as well, but it seems more safe to just have it on the back of a truck. Personally, I don't know. Again, I'm not in production.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what we needed or what they needed. Sorry. So, Jesus Christ, what a fucking hectic story to start the podcast off with.
So hectic. I know. That I was like, all right, we can start here. This is fine.
I just need a little 15-minute lie down now. If you can carry this podcast for the rest of the 15 minutes, I'll get back into it after that. But
The next day was cool though. Like, I actually got to speed on a highway and we had a full police guard around the car. Yeah.
Yeah. And nobody.
Still really scary. Like, I was still
terrified,
like
yeah.
quite terrified, but there was about 4 police cars that just sort of like drove around and like held this guard.
And those police are so happy to be there because they get paid to do absolutely nothing that day as well. So they're all just
get paid to speed up the highway.
Like, genuinely, yeah. But in the production, did your character have to look terrified or are they confident? Or
Confident.
Like, wow.
Loving it. Having a ball.
Some of the hardest acting, I think, is when you are personally terrified.
Yeah.
But your character needs to be like confident or like, yeah, this is great.
Totally.
I did, it was like this weird safety training video once for a VR studio.
Yeah.
And it was like a working at heights kind of safety thing. It was weird, whatever it was. Essentially, I had to drop a hammer off of it. Do you know what a scissor lift is? Like one of those big lifts that, for anyone that doesn't know, like they extend really, really high up. And I used to be terrible with heights, like genuinely like vertigo, like couldn't move. I've got a bit better.
And then you chose
now.
to go into stunt work.
No, that's the irony, isn't it?
Well, yeah, what a turn.
Punched over on the ground, but as far as heights go, I got a lot better.
Yeah.
I have to say, purely just from exposure to heights and jumping off buildings and stuff. But this was before I started any of that, and we went up in the scissor lift, and it must have been, I don't know, like 20 foot high, and I was just petrified, and I had to be really cocky and arrogant so I could drop my tools out, and I was just like visibly shaking. There was just me and this weird 3D camera up at the top, and like again, all the production company can see is just your face and how scared you are.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, you ready to go for a take? And I'm like, yeah. You can't stop the voice quiver, and you're like, fuck, this is all my acting coming into play just now. All these years I've spent so much fucking money on acting lessons. This is coming into it right now.
This is the moment. Hide all my emotions.
Yeah, I know, right? Pretend like I'm like in a normal situation, but yeah, fuck. I mean, good on you for acting confident in the time, but it's so fucking difficult.
It's
in times
so
like that.
hard.
Yeah.
I can see, when I watch it, I can see how, I can see that I was having a bad time. Like,
is that when you watch all your stuff back, you're like, oh, off the side of camera, that wasn't a real tree. Just all that kind of stuff. I hate watching anything I'm in because I'm like, I remember that day. Yeah, I spilled coffee on my pants. That's why you can't show the bottom part of my pants. Yeah, so
1,000%.
Yeah, so I can never watch myself and honestly critique myself because there's just so many other things in the shots where I'm like, oh, I remember that. Oh, yeah, no, I came in
all the
slightly
other
late
stuff
there.
that's going on.
Why did they use that take? It's fucking terrible. And, like so many things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure nobody else could notice it, but yeah, I'm not surprised if you were like, I can see the very tiny amount of fear behind my eyes there.
Or it's like, I can tell I was crying.
Yeah. Just between shots as well. Still the same scene, just really red
My
puffy
eyes are a little bit puffy there still.
God bless makeup artists so they can fix almost anything.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, especially when you do come in, sometimes you're like, I'm so sorry, but hay fever has just destroyed my face. Can you fix this? Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, makeup artists save the day all the time.
Undoubtedly as well.
Thank good. I dread the day, and I don't think it'll ever happen, but it's always such a fear of going into something new and not having a good relationship with your makeup artist, because it's like you have to have my back.
Yeah.
And I have to have your back. Like you're my person right now.
I know, and they're always there for you as well, especially if you have to sit in the makeup chair for like, usually it's about, or for myself, it's like, I don't know, about 20 minutes, and then depending what they need to do with my hair. But sometimes if you need to get like cuts or blood or scars and stuff like that put on, you're there for ages. Yeah. And if that person, I mean, I don't know why they would hate you, but, and I've yet to have any bad relationships with makeup artists. I don't know about yourself.
No, everyone's great.
Yeah,
everyone's great.
But they will also be like, this person, they're on for a few days, arsehole. And I'm like, wow.
They know everything.
Yeah. They are the, like...
They truly know everything that's going on.
Mind of gossip as well.
But they also like... They're so easy to talk to. So I know that
nice.
I'm just feeding their gossip brains, because it's like blah, 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 this. And I'm like, oh no, don't tell. I'm like, you will tell everyone.
But that's also kind of what the makeup chair is for, I feel like. Yeah. I mean, obviously it's get us looking
It's like the therapy chair.
But it really is, right?
Oh, yeah.
You settle in nicely. You've probably got your little cup of coffee from some beautiful barista that's just made 500 coffees for the Grips team.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're just sitting there, and it's a nice way to start the day as well. And you just have these little gossips as well.
Little chat to get you in the mood, to get you ready. Right? Yeah.
With somebody that's literally like 6 inches from your face, just being like breathing in your eyeballs, trying to paint your uneven eyebrows, my personally uneven eyebrows, into something that looks good on camera. Yeah. So God bless them.
God bless them.
But we have started off with that harrowing story, I think.
I'm so sorry.
No, please never apologize. Well, I say never apologize. I haven't heard the rest of the stories yet. Please do not apologize for that story. But you said you've come in with a few prepared. Now, I always like to keep the most salacious story for the end, because then that way all these beautiful perverts keep listening to the entire thing. So I was wondering if you have any particular way you want to tell them, or if you've got groupings of stories. I know people always like to group certain stories together. I mean, unsurprisingly, but people working in front of the camera especially have a lot of embarrassing nude stories. So like people have to group their nude stories together, or they're falling over. There's always a lot of falling over stories as well.
Oh,
that they
totally.
have to group together. So do you have any particular way that you've come in wanting to tell them today?
I reckon I'm going to start, a really quick one.
Yes.
My very, very first time embarrassing myself in an acting capacity.
Oh, nice.
Very first time. And I think it set me up for being like one of the most embarrassing people that I know personally for the rest of my life.
That's nice.
Yeah. My big high school musical production. Back in high school days, it was Aladdin.
Oh, nice.
I was Jasmine.
Of course. I could tell that as soon as you walked into the podcast studio, which is definitely not just my home office. I could tell. I was like, she's going to be the lead of whatever she's in. Yeah.
She's a Jasmine. Yeah.
She's a Jasmine through and through. So yeah, Jasmine, very nice.
Yeah, I was very excited. It was all, this is my big high school moment.
Yeah, of course.
One of the opening scenes of Aladdin is, her dad, the Sultan, being like, I want you to get married. You have to, marry one of these people. Yeah. And she chucks a big tantrum, a big hissy fit, and she's like, I will never marry anyone that you, I don't remember the exact line, I'm sorry. But she's like, I won't do it, basically. She chucks a big hissy fit, she stamps her foot and she storms off.
Yep.
I stamped my foot, stormed off, and just fell flat on my face. Opening night of like my big, like I'm an actress. I love acting. I'm a drama school kid. This is my big moment. Yeah, and this
is the rest of my career just now, like starting here.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
how did you fall on your face?
I don't know. I don't know.
Impressive. Yeah.
And it's like the one that they videoed as well from the school.
That is so good.
So I don't know. I tripped. It was baggy pants.
Oh, of course.
Those they puff out at the bottom. Yeah. I think I just got caught up and I just fell flat on my face. And then also in that production, during the Magic Carpet Ride song, singing away on the magic carpet, my school had got this kind of robot contraption. So the
Oh.
carpet sat on this robotic arm on wheels that like moved around the stage.
That does not sound safe.
And then underneath it had fashioned like these buckets of dry ice. So the dry ice and like this dry ice machine was kind of sitting in this robot contraption thing. So it looked like I can't explain it. It's like it looks like the carpet is floating.
Of course, yeah,
because the dry ice is hiding all the mechanical stuff underneath.
Oh, okay,
Does that make sense? So it
yeah.
just looks like a carpet on a cloud of
and all the
dry
dry ice is spilling out.
The dry ice is like spilling out
Not
and
smoke, but whatever it is.
yeah. It is, dry ice smoke is all like spilling out underneath the carpet and it looks very magical, very beautiful,
Yeah.
totally worked in tech, all good.
Oh, of course, everything does.
But like in the middle of the song,
Yeah.
the dry ice machine malfunctioned and started, instead of spitting out smoke, just spitting out hot, you know how it burns? It's so cold that
dry
it
ice.
burns.
Yeah.
Chunks of dry ice.
Jesus Christ.
It started spitting it out and it was hitting, there was like dancers on stage
Oh my
and
God.
hitting all of the dancers.
Fucking hell.
So I don't know. We just kind of kept singing and looking at each other, but the dancers were like hopping around, being like ow, and getting flicked with all of this dry ice. And then they, someone realised what was happening and stopped the show.
Show stop?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a very good show stop in my
Oh
own
yeah,
opinion.
I think we had to stop.
I've seen a few
that's
show
fine.
stops in my time, and I'm like, every now and again, it's because it's always smoke machines as well, which seem to be malfunctioning. They're just like spewing smoke out into the stage when they don't need to be. But yeah, like when you're genuinely burning your crew or your cast, sorry.
Yeah, I think it was fair enough. I think we had to stop
Yeah.
there.
Wow, like that's an impressive high school production as well, I have to say.
It actually was. My high school
Yeah.
could put on a good show.
Yeah, no, good effort. We never had a drama department in my high school. I went to like separate acting classes in the closest city to where I went. But in my final year, they decided to put on a pantomime. I'm Scottish, so every single British person loves a pantomime.
Yeah.
But it was so low quality. Like it was Peter Pan, and Peter's Pan Shadow was just played by
Classic.
friend of the show, Ross Mann, who's gone on to be a very successful actor in his own right as well. But he just adorned himself in black tights. So he just wore black tights on his leg, black tights on his face, black tights on his upper body. It was just this little man dancing around in fully black tights. It was very bizarre.
Always behind the Peter Pan character.
No, never.
Oh, really?
Like just running around the stage. It was awful. It was a very,
gosh.
very low quality production. But yeah, so I'm impressed
funny.
by your
God,
high school productions there. Yeah.
There's a video somewhere, but it's not the best night for me.
No, I would imagine so. It's certainly memorable. Did they
Certainly memorable.
The recovery from falling over, was that smooth, or was it mostly just shock and then scatter back up again?
Yeah. Sure. I would have been like 15 or 16.
Oh, you don't know how to save
So
anything in the moment. Yeah.
So embarrassed. Just scrambled back up and
Yep.
then I probably, stamped my foot again and walked off and then kind of ran
Walked up
and
very slowly.
got upset somewhere or freaked out.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
No more crying stories, please, Tamzen.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I
I'm
don't
so
think I
joking.
cried. I
I'm
would
so
have
joking.
laughed.
Yeah. Was it audible gasps from the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, yeah. Only because it was just unfortunately in such a moment where she has all this power.
I know.
It's like, I won't listen to you, Dad. Bah, and then just flat on my face.
There's nothing better to undermine somebody's power on stage than a real life
Completely.
event fucking up.
Yeah, completely.
Especially when it's like falling over is great. I mean, not great, but fantastic to watch.
Yeah.
Or whenever a prop falls over or fails, I find whenever I used to do a fair whack of theatre as well, but like a prop would always fail and you're like, fuck. This is integral to the scene and I don't know how to recover from
And you can't
this now.
fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe we just cut this scene short by 5 minutes and I'll just wander off stage and we can continue. Like, and then everyone afterwards is like, oh, I didn't know. I thought it was weird. I didn't notice anything had gone wrong though. And you're like, oh, that's independent theatre for you, I suppose.
Totally.
But moving on from our high school career,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
did we have anything? This is quite nice. We're maybe leading into a chronological order. So after high school, did you go on to study acting after that, or did
I did.
very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
How did you find studying going? Did you find that every single thing, like fucking acting classes are great for embarrassing yourself, but at least nobody sees them, I find so much.
You just got to have a little safe acting group,
I know, that's
safe
it.
class, and you can embarrass yourself as much as you want.
You really swing for the fences, and then sometimes you're like, wow, this was wrong what I just did. I'm so sorry, everyone. But I'm glad that all other 10 of you are also here making these kind of choices every single week
so
as
important.
well.
Yeah, so important.
And then you drag all your friends along to end of year performances as well. And they're like, Yeah,
And they're like, what have you been doing?
Yeah. Genuinely, they're like, oh, cool, man. Yeah.
They're like, I don't understand what you study. When they're all just like studying science or something.
Yeah, or studying something that will actually get them work afterwards as well.
Yeah, totally.
Like, wait, you want to do this? Like, just stick to community theatre. And you're like, wow. I mean, fair enough, but wow. Sorry, moving past then as well. What was the next point where we found out that we properly embarrassed ourselves, or memorably embarrassed ourselves, I should say?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't have any, because I think acting school is just all embarrassment all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have any like specific memorable things, just memorable people,
that's
but
nice.
probably nothing important for this.
Yeah. That's also just acting school, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, if everything's embarrassing, then nothing's
embarrassing.
Yeah.
And you're all in it together. I mean, the acting school I went to first, because I went to 2. I went and studied in New York. I had saved up all of my money. I had 3 jobs during high school to save up to go over. So I studied over there first, and that was very fish out of watery for me because I'd also never been to acting school before or anything except high school. And then I was in New York with adults, because it's adults who do the classes there.
Yeah.
More so than just 18-year-olds, which I was. I was in class with like 25 to 40-year-olds.
How fucking, like,
it was
not
wild.
uncomfortable, but like how, I suppose fish out of water is a good way of saying
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you're like, wow, these are like adults.
Yeah, and it was
like an adult.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I got so much out of it, but I also just constantly was like, if I was a bit older, I would be so much better at this.
I know, right? Especially when you're straight out of high school as well. You're like, all I'm drawing from is the 3 jobs I've worked to pay for coming here and high school.
Totally. And because it was Lee Strasberg, so it's all about, it's all method. It's all about your past. And so I was like, I have nothing.
Yeah.
I have
Which is
nothing
why it's
to bring to this.
It's such a wanky thing that a lot of acting schools say, but they're like, go out and get a few years experience, like just life experience and whatnot. But you're like, I actually kind of get that.
I get that now. And I would say that to myself now.
Yeah.
But 18-year-old me, people were definitely telling me that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? No.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I just want to act. Like, I know exactly who I am. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I know
It's
who
like,
I am.
What are you talking about? I can play a 60-year-old woman that's
like,
homeless. Yeah. I can do anything.
I can do anything.
Yeah. And now
But then you get there and you're watching like adults actually do the work and talk about, then you're like, I'm
a little baby.
I'm a baby.
I don't understand.
I can't even drink here. Like,
oh, fuck yeah, that's right. Of course. America.
totally. Yeah. And I also just turned 18 here.
Yeah.
So I was like, finally not using fake IDs.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I'm out. I'd lost about 7 fake IDs at this point because all of my friends were older than me. And then I got to America and I was like,
fuck, back on the fake
Damn.
ID game.
I can't do anything.
Yeah, right. Oh, so you can't even go out afterwards as well and have a drink.
No.
Like, a lot of those bars in America wouldn't even let you in underage.
And they're so strict about it.
They're like full on.
So strict about it. Yeah.
Wow. That
was a good time.
is hectic. Yeah.
It's pretty hectic.
But
then I came back here because I ran out of money and did acting school here.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Anywhere you want to mention here? Or?
Yeah, I went to the National Theatre.
Oh, awesome. Very
Yeah.
nice. Oh, fuck, that's sick, that place.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I met amazing people.
Yeah,
and
fuck yeah.
like, like you were saying, just a small class.
Yep.
And we all trusted each other so much. So
Yeah, too much sometimes. You get
too
weirdly
much
comfortable with each other.
really comfortable with each
It
other.
turns into a cult. And that is what most acting schools are. And I don't say that in a derogatory way. It's just how it happens.
It's just
You get to see you get to see too much of your classmates. And I mean that purely
True.
from an emotional level. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many people haven't seen all of you have full on like breakdowns and stuff, but
Totally.
just another day in the office.
It's just another day.
Yeah.
But I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah, no, it is beautiful as well at the same time. And then sometimes you come back into the quote unquote real world and you're like, oh, this isn't how normal people act. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And also like after acting school, it's so hard to find that sort of community
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And I think you put such high expectations on who your little community of actor friends will be in this industry. But once you're out there, it's not that.
No.
It's not drama school every day.
It's not, is it?
It's actually very
It's working
solo.
in a cafe every day.
Yeah. And like all very solo work.
Yeah. It is a lot of it as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You turn up on set, especially when you're like a little day player or a bit part, which for anyone that doesn't know as well, basically just means you come on, say 3 lines, and then are just never in the show again. So you come on and it's quite scary, and you're like very alienated. And not that anybody's making you feel that way, but you're just like, kind of like what you were saying before as well, where you're like, I need to be the most professional and the best person ever.
Totally. Yeah.
I need to play the best version of this waiter ever, that somebody's going to see me and I'll be the next Captain America. But you're like, no, you just need to go on and say, hey, do you want the fish or the chicken? And then leave the show forever.
Totally.
Yeah.
But yes, being professional gets me in. Oh, no, being so obsessed with wanting to be the most professional has gotten me in some silly situations.
Oh, silly as well. I like the sound of that.
Yeah. So, this also, speaking of makeup artists, very embarrassingly, I had a gig coming up. I'd just gotten this, I can say it. I just gotten an ad, and I was about.
Oh, nice.
I just found out, because, you can be on hold for right up until the last second for ads sometimes.
Ads. And
Yeah,
this is just going to be, I perpetually just complain about TV commercial auditions. When you get a TV commercial, it's a lot different. But anyone, I apologize, that listens to this podcast all the time, but TV commercial auditions are just a nightmare. You do the strangest thing, you never hear back from them. And then the day of filming, you're like, I suppose I didn't get that ads. But then sometimes the night before, they're like, oh, fuck, can you shave your head and be in makeup tomorrow at 6 a.m.? And you're like, what? Sorry. Yeah, okay, cool.
So last minute all the time. But amazingly, I had about 4 days notice for this one.
Nice.
And I got the call. It was like, great, you got it. And I was like, thank goodness, this is great. Really need the money. This is awesome. And then for some reason, my brain, sometimes I get really sucked into Instagram ads. I don't know if you do that.
Okay.
Really?
Well, it depends what the Instagram's ads are
for.
sometimes.
Yeah,
but I've been
I'm
bad.
pretty gullible, I think. Like, they really can get me. If something's targeting me, like again and again, it's like a little gadgety thing and it's promising to make my life so much better. I can get
care
sucked
to share?
in.
What have we bought?
Yes, but this is where it gets very, very embarrassing.
Oh, that's it. I love this so much then.
So embarrassing. This little gadget was supposed to, I can't believe I've even saying this out loud.
I'm not forcing you to say anything, but I am very excited.
It's basically supposed to make your face look slimmer, or like give you a better like jaw lines and cheekbones.
Is this one of these chewing gadgets, or like chewing the mouth things? Which like,
I have definitely seen those, but it wasn't that. It was like a different thing. And embarrassing. I can't believe I even just said that. Anyway, I had already been sucked into that a few days earlier, and I had bought it.
Oh, okay.
I got the call about this ad and it came in the post that day.
Oh,
and I was like,
bad timing.
In my head, I was like, perfect.
Well, perfect timing, yes.
Perfect timing. I'm about to do an ad. Oh my gosh, I can make my face look great. I'm going to do it. And then in 4 days, I'm going to look amazing in this ad. This is going to be the best ad I've ever filmed, because I'm going to have the best cheekbones I've ever had because of this tiny gadget that I bought on Instagram.
Oh, no.
Yay, what a win.
From a reputable seller as well, is it?
No, I don't think
account
so.
That you'd never heard of.
An Instagram account I'd never heard of.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So used the gadget.
May I ask what the gadget was? Like, is that...
Sure, yeah. If anyone listening, don't buy it. It looks like... Do you know when you... Chinese medicine?
Yes.
Cupping?
Yes.
That, but for your face.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, I wish I didn't like the sound of it either. But I get cupping and like...
Oh, I'm fully for cupping for sure.
Totally. So, and I have gotten that a few times this year. Like, I'd had it quite recently. So I was like, great.
Do you come out in massive bruises on your back afterwards?
I do.
Yes. Okay, cool. So everyone else does as well. Yep. So
do
totally
you know
normal.
What might happen if you do it to your face?
Well, I've got an inkling. Cupping, I mean, face. Maybe not going together so well. Is it like something, because with the traditional Chinese medicine way of cupping, it's the smoke in it and it sucks air out of it, or is this like a little machine that you need to press a button and it like vacuums your face?
I mean, it's really just a little plastic cup thing.
Okay.
That you squeeze and it sticks on. Like you squeeze all the air out, you put it on, it just like sucks. Yeah, it's a little suction cup.
Okay. So
anyway, I just got this call from my agent. Everything all good. Great. Have an ad. I'm going to make my face look amazing.
Oh, no.
I just was like, I'm going to get myself all comfy. I sat down. I was watching like a little TV show. It's kind of the end of the day. And I was like, great. And I just started doing this on my face.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, yeah, this is fine. But did not have any mirror or anything. I was like very sucked into this Australian show that I was watching. And I was like, great. And then I turned to the mirror after like 15 minutes or so. And I was like, oh, my entire face is bruised.
Oh, my God.
It looked like I'd been in a bar fight.
Which is not ideal for when you want to be on camera.
No, and camera in about 4 days.
I don't know what the ad was as well, but I presume they didn't want you coming in battered and bruised for it.
Well, you know how when you get an ad, you tick a little box that says, I will not change my appearance?
So for anyone that's not in the industry, every single time you do a TV commercial audition, you tick this little box in the forms that they send you saying, I will not change my appearance from the filming of the audition till the filming of the TV commercial. So you're not turning up with like bleach blonde hair when you didn't have it before. For guys, you're not shaving your entire beard off. So
it's also a contract, that little box, because you sign it.
It's. I'm going to presume you didn't do the audition with bruised makeup all over your face.
No.
Strong play on that behalf, but obviously it worked out for you. So how bad are we talking?
It was really bad. It was purple. It was like, call a bunch of my friends. Anyone know how to get bruises down in a really short amount of time? I didn't. Then you go into, again, this is me being like the profession, like don't want to be unprofessional. It was like, how quickly do these go away? Yeah. Is it something where I have to tell my agent? If I tell my agent might take me off the job and then I'd lose it.
Yep.
Is it something I just hope that it'll be gone by filming day and no one will be any the wiser? But if it's not, and I rock up to filming day and I look like this, then they're going to tell my agent, and my agent's going to get in trouble, and the casting director's going to get in trouble, and it's all because of me trying to look better for the ad.
Well, that's the irony as well, because it comes from a place of like, I'm trying to improve your ad.
Yes.
And I would say this to literally every single person, like, do not try something for the first time just before you have headshots done, before you do a modeling job, before you go on TV, before you film a showreel scene. Literally do it weeks out. So if you really fuck up your face or whatever part of the body you're trying it out on, then it's got time to recover. And it's just,
it was terrible.
That's
timing.
so hectic. I presume that 4 days between you doing the facial bruising and the filming the ad was a nice relaxed 4 days as well.
It was
and
the
not
most
massively
stressful. It was so stressful, and it was lots of running to the chemist, buying all different types of arnica creams, all different types of like any herb, anything that I could.
And putting so many different things on your face as well.
So many.
You've never put on your skin before as well.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. But that happened. It was like icing, heat packs. I did red light therapy. I did infrared saunas. I was doing every single thing. And you know what?
It worked?
It worked.
Okay.
Filming morning, I was like, oh, it's pretty much gone.
Yeah, right.
It just looked like I'd been in the sun.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Passable, for sure, yeah.
Anyway.
Did they mention anything? Well, not that makeup artists usually do. Be like, no, your face looks weird. I'll get rid of that. But yeah, nobody said anything.
No one said anything.
Yeah, nice. And
no one said anything.
When you watch the advert back, can you notice anything at all?
No.
Thank God.
Yep.
That could have been fucking brutal.
It could have been the end of me doing it. It could have actually just been the end of my acting career.
Did you ever mention it to the agent?
Nope.
Okay, good. Well, agent, if you are listening, this is
I've had a few different agents in the last few, so you don't know what ad that this was for.
Oh, okay.
Or what agent I was with.
Yeah, okay. So it could be multiple ads or agents.
Definitely.
So,
but it's fine.
Yeah.
It all works.
It's all fine. It's all fine.
Everything's fine.
So what else have we bought from Instagram ads recently then in that case?
I actually, that was...
I really hope you're going to say that was the last time I bought anything off Instagram
that was
ads.
Definitely... Oh, my thinking... That really stopped it for a while. I was like, this is very silly.
Did you say stopped it? How many were you buying before that as well?
It wasn't
Sorry, I feel like I've really put you
I don't know. I didn't prepare.
This is an intervention, Tamzen.
I'm trying to think of other things. I don't know. No. I feel like I haven't bought anything.
That's good.
In a while.
Nothing that you're applying directly to your face.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. And I won't ever again.
Yeah.
But I had bought other things before. Like I'd bought like things to make your eyelashes grow, or like this like DIY do your own nails at home kit thing, which was terrible and didn't work.
Okay, I was going to say that.
None of it's
like
worked actually.
Okay.
It's all bad.
So anyone, unless you see any Instagram sponsored posts from artists, always click on them, please. God, we need them.
Totally.
But yeah, never buy anything
gadgets.
from a company you've never heard of, which you then go back to check out a couple of weeks later and like, this Instagram account is no longer
closed.
active.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like,
I actually messaged the account I bought the face bruiser
did
from.
you? The face bruiser.
And
that should have been the first giveaway. It was called that, but yeah.
And they replied, and they're like, no one's ever done this before. I don't know what you're talking about. This hasn't
What?
happened. I was like, this definitely has happened to someone else.
Oh, for sure. Or it's just people are like, they just don't get back in touch with them again. They just bin the little squeezy cup thing.
Do you know I still have it?
Do you?
Yeah. I think there's a part of my brain that still believes it might work, but I need...
Tamzen, please. This is a
Throw it out.
genuine intervention now.
Okay.
Please. Everybody
We'll go.
listening, please DM Tamzen. Tell her to throw it out.
Yeah.
Please go home and get rid of that.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll get rid of it.
I don't believe that
I'll
for a
get rid of it.
second.
I'll get rid of
there.
it.
She's
Yeah.
winking just now. She's crossing her fingers. Hello. Now, before we get into our next story, I've got to tell you the main reason why I'm able to fumble through my awkward and embarrassing day-to-day occasions. Coffee. Now, fortunately for myself and all of the listeners, we have paired with one of Melbourne's best coffee companies, Coffee on Q, a coffee worth talking about. Get ready to caffeinate yourself through your next awkward moment with Coffee on Q's signature Elevate blend. Crafted in-house with precision, each sip delivers delightful flavour notes of strawberry, chocolate and marmalade. And here's the deal you won't want to miss. Coffee on Q is offering an exclusive discount to all our listeners. Simply use the code WBFT15 at checkout to enjoy an incredible 15% off all coffee purchases. That's right, WBFT15 is a key to savings, making sure you're properly awake to remember your next big embarrassing moment. Now, this code is valid for all coffee products, so make sure you stock up on your favourites. And the best part? You can use the code WBFT15 as many times as you like. So don't miss out on the opportunity to enjoy the finest coffee Melbourne has to offer. Simply visit Coffee on Q, and that's QCUE.com.au, and enter the discount code WBFT15 at checkout to unlock 15% off your next coffee order. That's WBFT15 at coffeeonq.com.au. Coffee on Q, where awkward moments pair perfectly with your daily cup.
So another time that I was trying to be really professional was I was filming, it's an ad again, actually.
Oh, nice.
I was filming an ad and I had to be in water.
Oh.
In winter.
Oh, no.
Which is fine.
I like to butt in right now and say, no, it's not. That is awful.
I mean, it's
I
not
hate that.
fun. Yeah. So I rocked up to set.
Yep.
Everything all good. They gave me bathers, which were skin coloured. And the problem that morning was I had, put this swimsuit on and then realised I had my period.
Classic.
And I was like, oh no, like, of course.
Oh, no, again, genuinely. Yeah, it's absolutely perfect timing.
Yeah.
It's always going to happen.
It's always going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's a nude swimsuit too. This is so awkward.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best for hiding anything with as well.
Totally. But again, thank goodness for wardrobe makeup people.
Of
because they were in the trailer with me. But the problem that I was having in my need to be professional brain was this, me being like, hey, help. Does anyone have anything like what we need to sort this out?
Yep.
That was holding up filming.
Oh.
Because I was kind of ready to go and then I was like, oh no, like I need, I was like, who has a tampon? Who has a thing? So there was like people helping me kind of trying to sort it out, which it's a fine problem to have. You can swim. Like I just needed a tampon. I just didn't have one.
Yeah, no.
And they were just like helping getting it anyway, but it was taking time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, everyone's waiting for me on set. This is taking too long. This is my fault. This is something I didn't prepare for.
Oh.
And now I'm late to set and I'm holding up the day.
Yeah.
We ended up obviously getting down there. The trailer was quite a long way away from where we were filming. It was at a beach. So we'd had to come down off the dunes and go down onto the beach, which is fine. But then already in my brain, I was like, I've already been unprofessional today.
Oh.
I have to be the most professional I can from now on.
Right.
I have to be so good. I have to be like good little actor.
Yeah.
Just because I was already feeling like people were looking at me badly. Look, it's probably not true. It's probably all in my head, but that is my thought process.
Guarantee nobody would have even batted an eyelid. But sometimes when you are in that situation, you're like, everybody hates me now. Oh.
Yeah.
And like most people are just sitting around and be like, this is fine.
But also like the someone in the I'm trying not to name names. Someone in the team that was with me up at the trailer was new. This was one of their first. And they were in the same boat where they were like, I want to help. This is part of my job, but I don't want my job to be the thing that's holding up production as well. So I think because there was a few people like me and this other person having that same energy going down there, I was like, okay, I have to make it up to this person that's helped me, make sure people know that it's not their fault. It's my fault for holding us up. Anyway, shooting starts. In the water with an underwater camera team and an above water camera team.
Wow.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Very cool. But very cold.
Oh,
because we're at the beach in winter.
Disgusting.
I just had like a one-piece bathing suit on.
Yeah. Which is not insulating in any aspect.
No. But there was also nurses standing by because it was cold, and they had been told, I'm only allowed to be in the water for a certain amount of time, and then I have to come out and get warm.
Yep.
Great. So nice. Everyone's doing the right thing.
Yep.
But what ended up happening was they just were like, we just want one more shot. We just want one more shot. We just want one more shot.
Perpetually one more shot.
Yeah. And then the nurses was like, no. Like we're overtime for her needing to be out of the water. And then it was up to me. It was like, how are you feeling? You're fine. Yeah. And I was like, I'm trying to be the most professional person I can be. I just want it to be that I'm good actor, doing my thing. Yeah. I was like, I'm fine. I can stay in the water. I can stay in the water. I can stay in the water. We ended up going well over the time. The nurse was like, you have to get out. And I was like, I'm fine. Oh, anyway, I ended up having hypothermia and having to be wrapped in like those big silver space blankets.
Yes.
And it turned into a big thing. And
oh my God. Oh, that is such a shame.
I couldn't move. I had to be lifted out of the water because I couldn't use my limbs anymore because I stopped being able to swim. So I was like kind of thinky. I couldn't move. All of my limbs had frozen, and they like lifted me out of the water and wrapped me in the space blanket.
So did you have like there's safety on sets
my fault.
as well.
It's all me.
But it's,
like I did that to myself.
You are trying to be professional.
I know.
I'm fully on board. I've done exactly the same thing as well. And it's that thing where you're like, oh great, had a period. Like that's nobody's fault. An extra few minutes.
Totally.
Whatever. And then you're like, all right, I should get out, but I'll stay in and just push through it. And everyone's going to remember me and say I'm the most professional person ever, and then almost die.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you also don't want to, if they're like, we just need this one more shot, you don't want to be like, no, sorry, I'm too cold.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Also, yeah.
I would feel so bad. And then if they were like, oh, it would have been exactly what we wanted, but we just didn't get that shot because that actor was cold.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a bad reason. It sounds like it's my fault. It sounds like it's a dumb reason.
It's so funny because you're like, if somebody told the story that way, you're like, oh yeah, all these actors, they're absolute princesses.
Exactly.
Or the alternative was like, yeah, we went for one more shot and the actor got hypothermia and almost had to be hospitalized. Like it's the same story, but
from the different
how you tell it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So fucking hectic. So like, sorry, in water shoots, you should always have like safety and divers. Were they the ones that brought you out the water? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Wow. I've never known anybody, because I have a few friends that work safety, just from the stunt world.
Yeah.
They work safety and they work safety divers. Most of the time they're just standing there and it's like they don't do anything. So I've never heard of anyone actually have to be rescued by them.
It's me. So of course it's me. I'm so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassing.
No,
and I wasn't even allowed to drive. That I couldn't drive home that day.
Oh my God.
So they wanted to take me to
hospital.
Yeah.
Of course.
I was okay. The space blankets helped, but I wasn't allowed to drive myself home and all this stuff.
So was that a wrap then? Like on the day? Were you allowed to film anymore?
Day. It was a 3-day shoot. I don't know what day we were at. That might have been the last day. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think it was the last day.
I mean, I presume they had to finish the day there at least.
They finished the day there, yeah.
Yeah. That's unsurprising. But yeah, did the person that was asking continually for one more shot feel bad?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm just checking. Because sometimes
Not their fault though.
No. It's one of those
It's
things.
all me. It's all on me.
It's not all on you.
But they were checking with me. You know, they were like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I kept being like, totally fine.
This is something for people that work in crew, especially people that work in safety or like nurses. Actors will constantly lie to you when they're not fine.
Oh, yeah.
And say they're fine as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're like, oh, fuck, I fell over and hit my head. And they're like, are you all right? Do you want to go see the nurse? And you're like, no. I don't want to be a problem. No. And then you're like, a little bit of blood. And you're like, oh, fuck, I'll just try and hide this. And it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, actors, they lie. Professionally.
So true.
They just never want to be a problem. Some of them do, admittedly. And look, they're a whole different thing. But for the most part, most actors never want to be a problem, especially if they're like day players or if they're on TV commercials or anything like that as well. They never want to be that problem. But yeah, try and look after them as well.
You have to force them to do stuff. Yeah. Force them to stop.
So was this also one of the absolute classics of, it was a TV commercial shot in winter, but it made to look like summer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Why? Stop it. I'm sorry. I don't know who I need to talk to about this. Please stop filming things in winter for summer. It sucks. It never ends well. This is the perfect story I'm going to tell to people from now on as well. It's perpetually freezing. I can't not have goosebumps. I can't stop shivering. If you tell me to act warm, I'm going to walk off set.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrible. And it's always the way, especially in Victoria, where we are just now. Yeah. Perpetually just... It's either you're filming it in summertime and you've got the biggest costume on in the world and you're just, I don't know about yourself, just cannot stop sweating. Yeah. And the makeup artist just keeps coming and dabbing and literally throwing powder on me. Or you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt in the middle of winter and can't stop shaking and you're blue. So that fucking sucks though. That's... one of the most hectic things I've heard on set, to be honest with you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologise, please. So this is one of the things as well, like what Sammy Peterson was saying, a friend of the show from last week.
He's a good friend of mine as well.
A very good friend of yours as well, yeah. But saying just constantly apologising for things we don't need to apologise for. I think a lot of performers do it because we're such people pleasers.
Yeah, I think so too.
But you're like, no, you nearly died, mate. You don't need to apologise.
Yeah.
I think we should all be apologising to you for making you go into that water so you could sell us whatever it was. Yeah. But yeah, my God, did you have any stories where you have either nearly not died or nearly not killed somebody as well?
Oh my gosh.
Just a nice little palate cleanser, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, of course. Oh. I feel bad that,
No, please, I'm only joking as well as far as that goes. This is absolutely fantastic stories, but... They are hectic.
I know,
my God.
I'm sorry.
No, please, again, do not apologise. I'm going to edit out all of your apologies as well.
I'm trying to think about something that's like a bit lighter.
If we don't have them, I'm more than happy to stay with the dark stories as well.
That was an unnecessary long pause.
No, sorry, that will also be edited as
amazing.
well. So.
I have just... The last few years, I've been working on a solo show that I wrote, and I've kind of toured it around a little bit, different festivals, different places. It's
Melbourne Fringe a couple
Melbourne
of times
Fringe,
as well,
yeah, and it's about my own life.
Yeah.
So it's called Never Said Motel, and the premise is I've invited 12 people from my past into a motel room to tell them how I really feel about them, which is the most terrifying thing to actually do in person.
Oh no,
but
fuck that.
I'm not actually doing it. I'm instead talking to audience members as if they are someone from my past.
Oh wow.
And that has been amazing, but it changes every night depending on the audience members.
Audience interaction is wild.
Yeah, well, technically it doesn't have any. They just have to sit there and hold space and I talk to them.
Yep.
But yes, on the odd occasion, they will definitely pipe up. Yeah. And that's an interesting thing to kind of experience. And I definitely have a few little embarrassing stories here and there from that show.
Yeah.
I've done it so many times now and it's just always so different,
which is nice as well. I think that's one of the best things about live theatre is it is different every night. I know people always say that, but it genuinely is different.
No, it genuinely is. And people who don't act, I don't think they fully grasp how different film and TV is from theatre.
Yeah.
And why either you like one more than the other, or you need both. You need to be doing both because they're so different. If you get thrown into one or you haven't done the other one for a while, it's so important to keep both of those abilities, like to keep both of those like muscles going.
Such a weird thing to say because everyone's like, when you talk, you just like read a script and then do a little dance. Like that's all acting is, right? And you're like, I mean, yes, I know, but like they're very different muscles, I suppose.
Totally. I mean, one of them you shoot out of order, you do the same scene multiple times.
You get hypothermia in the ocean.
You have to be aware of every single tiny movement your face is doing.
Oh my god, like people, it's the equivalent of a live theatre audience sitting 1 foot away from your face.
Totally. And then the other one, it's like you can have a lot more freedom in a way. But it's different every night, and you have to be able to adapt to the changes of the other actors, the energy of the audience.
Your own personal fuck-ups, which happen all the time as well.
Exactly, Or got to be ready.
Yeah, an audience member sitting there sometimes trying to talk back to you in a non-interactive show.
Yeah. It is hard for, even though I explain, and it's written there that the audience doesn't have to do anything. When they do, you just have to go, you just go along with it.
You're not just like, excuse me, everyone stop, do not talk to me. This is purely my thing.
This one audience member, I was talking to him, and it was as someone that I had dated in the past. And I was talking to him like, do you regret it? Do you regret that we ever blah? And he was like, no, what are you talking about? Nah. And I was like, okay.
And just being clear as well, this audience member was not somebody who had dated in the past. That was the character
that I was putting onto them.
This was just some kind stranger that bought tickets.
It's a very kind stranger who got really involved. And then later in the show, I was talking to another audience member as if they were a different ex. And audience member number 1 piped up and started talking to the other one.
Oh my God.
Fully in character. Like he was,
Do you think they were an actor? This sounds like something an actor would do.
It does, doesn't it? But I don't think so. He was a bit older.
Okay.
I think just really was having a fun time. I don't know.
I mean, fair enough. He sounds like he was having a fun time.
Yeah, so he started doing a bit of like call and response to the other audience member who I was talking to. So when I was talking to them about like another dating situation, this first audience member was like, oh yeah, and then we hooked up. I'm like, it was very silly.
And then you just you sit down and you're like, all right, the audience
here's
has got
the
this
show. You guys take it from here.
Yeah, right. That's so like, I've been to like interactive audience shows before, and I've been to shows where they just speak to the audience. I've never felt the need to interact, but I suppose like there's a lot of different people out there, so I'm always amazed every single time somebody tries to interact in a non-interactive show. Yeah,
it's so interesting. I mean, it's fine. Like amazingly, it was okay, and I just figured it out, and
well, that's like you were saying as well.
It just catches you off guard because you're not.
Yeah, live theatre. You're like, oh fuck, all right.
Like, this is happening now. Okay.
Yeah, this is going in a really different tangent.
Yeah.
But I suppose it's better than people not interacting in an interactive show as well. So they've both got their good and bad parts.
Yeah.
I've definitely gone to see some interactive shows where people are not on board for it being interactive. And my God, that's more awkward, I think.
That would be so awkward.
It is. And I won't name this show. I'll just quickly brush on it. But I went to go and see this show a good few years ago for Fringe now, and it was kind of not well put together. And they tried something, it didn't work. Mm-hmm. But the end,
which is what Fringe is for, honestly.
Exactly,
like that's the perfect place for it. Yeah.
But the audience had to decide on the ending of the show, and nobody in the audience said anything when they kept asking.
No.
And then we're to the point where the people on stage were like pointing at people and like, you, sir, what do you think should happen? And this older guy is like, I don't know. I'm not the actors. You decide. Just like,
you have to have it.
So brutal.
I hope that they went away from that and they were like, let's write an ending.
Yeah.
And this is what we just do.
When that
happens. You need a backup plan.
Yeah, right. Or improv, because it was quite improv-esque, I think, the show. Or I don't know, but some of it seems improv-y.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was not a well-received show. I was actually sitting next to a couple of people who were whispering, hey, should we try and leave halfway through? But they were quite far into the seats and they couldn't get out without making a big fuss, so...
Oh, that's again, so awkward.
Fringe.
Totally.
It's what it's for. Yes.
When I started doing my show, I originally, for one of the kind of iterations of it, I opened the show and I'm writing all these letters to all these people.
Oh, nice.
And they are, on the front of the envelopes, they have big numbers on them.
Yep.
And one, that was because I wanted to give something to the audience members who I interacted with at the end as a bit of a thank you, like they could take this letter away. But two, it was so I remembered who I was talking to in the correct order.
Yeah.
And I was like, great. So I open the show, I'm on stage and I'm finishing these letters. I put them down and then I walk around and I hand them to the audience members because directorially, I need to face certain ways for certain moments of the show. So it's not completely improvised. Like it is very methodical where I move, and it is completely directed, and it makes sense. And, you know, we've worked on this so much that I do need to be facing certain ways for certain things, or it just works. So originally in the show, this device was going to be really helpful. And obviously in rehearsals, it totally worked because I have all these chairs around me and I put the envelopes down on the chairs. So they're always in the same spot and I can see them.
Yep.
First night, what you forget is that people have pockets. So
yes, they do.
Yes,
they do. I don't know why I gasped at that. But yeah.
So I was out there, I'm handing out my envelopes, it's all good. And then I slowly start seeing the audience members who get these envelopes because I say don't open them.
Yep.
But so they're putting them in their bags, they're putting them in their pockets, they're putting them in away. And I was like...
Personally, I'd probably just pop it on the ground under my seat as well. So out of sight entirely. So yeah, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, of course that's what they're doing. Yeah. Of course they are. The actor's saying, like, don't read this yet. You put it away.
He's going to sit with it holding
You're not holding it. It's not a sign.
Yeah.
But it had been a sign for me for all of rehearsals because I could see the you know.
That is absolutely perfect. Like, you do everything you can in rehearsals. Yep. It's perfect to a T, and then you're like, oh, fuck.
Like, I really missed a really main thing here. Like, a really obvious just how to be a human thing.
Yeah.
So that didn't work.
Whoops.
And that got cancelled straight away. I never did that again.
Oh,
that went away. Yeah, because it was too hard.
So opening night, they're the only ones that ever got the
the letters.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
what's funny is that someone came up to me after the show and said, I really liked how you handed out letters for no reason. I was like, oh, thanks.
Thank you, I think.
And they're like, yeah, because like you think it's going to be a part of the show and then it's never mentioned.
What did the inside of the letter say?
They actually said just more like part of the script.
Okay.
So it was like things that I would tell them in the script eventually, but kind of changed a little bit. More like a handwritten like apology or a handwritten like something. Yeah.
Yeah, that would seem also like so much work for essentially what somebody thinks is just not part of this, like the entire show as well.
Yeah. And because also what ended up happening is I don't know which audience members got letters. So during that particular performance, I was definitely not doing the bit to the person with the letter.
Of course.
This person goes away from the show and gets this letter and is like, I have no idea what this is about.
Also, considering the fact that you're like, don't open this, and then it's never brought up again as well, you're like, wow, that's a real red herring.
Oh, so bad.
That would be so fucking...
Because I didn't know what else to do. I just was like, I just have to leave this.
All right, abort that part. That's not in it anymore.
It's gone.
You're welcome, all 12 people.
And I could see my director as well at the corner of my eye, like clocking it when I was clocking it, when people were putting it away, and her eyes were just like, fuck.
Which is like, again, hilarious. Only something you'd know about, and your director as well.
Yeah, it's fine.
Terrifying in the moment, fantastic story afterwards.
Yeah.
Which I find most of this podcast is. All the stories are like, fuck, this is the worst thing ever, but kind of funny afterwards, actually.
Kind of funny.
Yeah.
Learned a lot.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, everybody learns through failure, I think.
Totally.
So we're coming towards the end of the podcast as well. Did we have any other quick fire stories we wanted to shoot out as well? Or did you have any more from the theatre show as well? I know you mentioned a few times with that. Oh, sorry, a few different embarrassing moments with that. Otherwise, we can move on to the final stories.
No. Move on.
No, yeah,
good.
beautiful.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
So yeah, just a couple of quick fire stories if we have any left as well to bring us home.
Oh yeah. So I was once doing this is less embarrassing for me though, but maybe this is okay. It's a funny story anyway.
We don't have to name names.
The theatre's a wild place. I was doing a musical.
Oh. Oh, and the podcast dog has arrived again. She is coming to cause mischief, probably knock over a microphone stand, and definitely not be a conducive part of this podcast. All right, everyone, I'll be back in 1 second as soon as I kick the dog out again. All right, we're back. Dog has exited the room. But we're talking about a musical, that we were in.
Yeah, so I did just a community musical. I'd actually, sometimes when I have no money for classes, I just go, where can I learn this skill and I don't have to pay for it?
Yeah.
And this was, I hadn't done a singing lesson in a while and I wanted to brush up on it. So I found like this just community musical that I was like, no one I know will ever see this. But it means I have basic free singing classes 2 nights a week for 6 weeks.
I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
I don't have acting classes, so I'll do a theatre show. And it's just like this little
actually,
theatre show. And it's great, yeah.
It's great.
Keeps you sharp.
Keeps you sharp. And yeah, that I did it for a reason. And I was like, yep, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm here.
And I'm sure they were very appreciative to have somebody of your talent swoop into the community theatre scene as well. And
that's a very nice thing to say.
blow it out the water.
I met some cool people too.
Yeah, nice.
But the show's terrible.
Oh, next.
Terrible.
Do you want to mention what the actual show was? Or we're not naming anything here?
Oh, they won't say. Yeah, no, there's people were. It's a musical. It was written by the director, so it was brand new.
Oh, so it's an original.
It was an original. Original community theatre production.
Oh, I am excited for this.
Yeah, if you like bat theatre, this is where you go. Yeah,
I kinda do.
It was basically like each scene was a New Year's Eve party of the next year. So it was like chronologically like 10 New Year's Eve parties. Right. So you play a character from which, gets awkward. But my character was like 15 to 40, or something ridiculous like that.
Sounds so community theatre
Doesn't
as
it?
well.
Doesn't it? And also, because it was it's worse than that. It was every 5 years because the decades changed.
Oh my God.
So the costuming completely shifted, right? So it was like, this is the one in the 60s. This is the one in the 70s. This is the one. Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah. But there was this character in it. So I played, I guess, the daughter kind of character who then becomes older at the end because it's spanning a lot of time.
Can I ask, did we wear like grey hair makeup? What's that called? Like we turn our hair grey, or did you give yourself
thank
lines
goodness. But the person playing my mother had to do that.
Oh, I love it so much.
This is so embarrassing. But look, this is, guys, free singing lessons. That's what I was there for. Free singing. Great. And it happened and it worked. All good.
Yep.
But you still have to do all the embarrassing bits.
Yes.
So the main character, my character's dad, is like a very problematic character this whole time. Okay. He's really nasty. The whole thing is he was sleeping with a bunch of characters and, was bringing different girls to these parties and lying to his wife and like cheating and just being really mean to his daughter character, and ended up marrying a different character. And then the stepmom was really nasty.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So it was like, that's
drama.
Kind of what it was. Drama in musical form spanning decades.
Yes, I always find drama in musicals the best kind.
Yeah. Yeah. So by the end scene, like the last New Year's Eve party, the dad has passed away.
Okay.
And the New Year's Eve party is a bit bleak and everyone's in black and it's quite sad. And there's like a song where all the women are kind of mourning the death of this guy.
Is the New Year's Eve party also the funeral? Why is everyone...
Kind of, yeah. It was real weird. Yeah. Yes.
Wow,
It was...
Okay.
You just have to like let go of the reins,
Community theatre. I forgot. My apologies. Yes.
The thing was, we were at about dress rehearsal or something.
Yep.
And there was a bunch of us chatting in the dressing room about how we just couldn't understand exactly what you just said.
Yep.
Why they were all so sad that this guy who'd made them miserable had died. Like they were so sad, but he was never... Every single New Year's Eve party, he was awful to someone. Yeah. Anyway, so we were chatting about that. We're like, why are we mourning this guy who's been really mean? He's been so mean.
Yeah.
The director / writer, remember?
Course. Yep.
We kind of didn't realise, but she'd kind of come into the dressing room and she was listening to us. And we were like, I just don't get it. He's so awful. Yeah. I don't understand why we loved him so much. All we've seen is that he's horrific.
A terrible human being.
Terrible human being. This is the conversation we're having. All of a sudden, the director goes, because he's my
Oh, no.
And runs out of the room.
Oh.
So...
That's not good.
Not good. Not good. And so we didn't know, and she'd kept a secret the whole time, was that this was her life story.
Oh, jeez. Tell people. Don't, because you put this work out into the world, people are going to critique it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially people in it. They're the worst critics.
And like, it was just the most dramatic. It was so bad. It was so bad. And then in that moment, that's when I realised I was playing her.
Oh, of course. Fuck, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no.
Wow.
So, that's a little fun.
How did the rest of the run go?
But yeah, because then we opened.
Yeah.
And it was awkward.
Of course.
Yeah. So director-writer had just like very dramatically let us all know that this was her life story. And the most dramatic. Like, that's all she said too. It was that because he's my father, and she was crying, and it was like we're in a movie. And she like ran out of the dressing room. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And that's
TV
exactly what it felt like.
Yeah, wow.
It would be a fun movie, this community theatre, as a...
I honestly think behind the scenes sometimes is better than the actual theatre shows.
Agreed.
Especially community theatre.
Oh, yeah.
No offence as well. If you're into community theatre, you do you. More power to you.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Man, it's a wild
It's a
ride.
whole world, isn't it? Yeah. It's a whole different world.
That is fantastic. I mean, terrible, especially in the moment. And I feel really bad for the writer-director. But also tell people...
Like, you should tell us that, though.
Honestly, your dad doesn't sound like a great person.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
I mean, like, everybody's got complicated, like, relationships with family and stuff like that. You don't have to love someone just because they're related to you too. As
a writer as well, it's like, if you don't want us to hate him by the end, you should give us a reason to like this character. Give him, show us where he was nice to you. Like, show us the good times. Just
because someone dies doesn't mean they're redeemed.
Totally.
Like,
Anyway,
everybody dies. Like, Jesus. Yeah. Woo, fucking hell, that's hectic. Yeah. I'm sweating, Tamzen, I have to say. No, it's good. All of these stories have resonated so deeply, and I fucking love them so much. Thank you so much for bringing them on. I think we're going to bring the podcast to a close there before I have a panic attack personally and have to sit in here crying. Somebody's like, what's going on here? So thank you so much for coming on. I am going to very quickly give a quick update. I think this somewhat feeds beautifully back into some of the previous stories on this podcast. A few weeks ago, we had incredibly talented stunt performer and assistant stunt coordinator on, Heather Burridge, and she told this horrible story where she broke her vagina doing a stunt.
Yeah.
And she did want me to tell everyone that there was no lasting effects, and it is all good there now as well.
Good.
So, yeah, I just thought I'd pass that on for the world as well. Yeah, but I just thought I'd better tell. Yeah, if anyone wants to know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to the Heather Burridge episodes. I think the video of the actual stunt itself might be on the Instagram page if you want to see it happen in real time. But everything is good and working. She wanted me to tell everyone. So sorry to hijack the end of your episode there.
This is an important update, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I think that story might have been the most feedback I've got on the podcast from any story. It is harrowing. That's all I'll say.
Wow.
But yes, thank you so much for coming on. If people want to find you, where can they find you?
Yeah, on Instagram at Miss T Hayes. That is where most things go. And then also, if you like Grey's Anatomy, come and listen to me on Scalpels and Tequila. We have a great time over there.
Infinitely better and more popular podcast than this. So finish this episode and go and listen to the entire back catalogue of that. And you were just telling me Grey's Anatomy is up to season 19 now.
Yeah. I mean,
so
season 20 just got postponed because of the strike. We are crossing all of our toes and fingers that, it's all good.
I'm sure they'll come back. I mean, obviously, please support any of the striking actors and crew members and writers as well during this time in America. Yeah. Very important stuff they're doing. But yes, a lot of things have been postponed because of it.
Totally.
And a little bit of a knock-on effect over here, unfortunately, as well.
I know, yeah, totally.
Production's closing down.
Yeah.
Very important stuff.
For good reason.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. But yes, Scalpels and Tequila. Go and check that out on all podcasting platforms.
All podcasting platforms. Yeah. It's on all the places.
Yeah, and you were saying as well, you're rewatching the old episodes whilst simultaneously watching the new release episodes as well.
Totally. I mean, the new ones, we'll do one season when it's on. So we did just finish season 19 a few months ago.
Yep.
And then, but we are also at the moment doing season 4.
Yep.
So you can listen to us recapping seasons 1 to 4 and 17 to 19.
It's like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, you can follow whatever stream, whatever floats your boat. You can follow either way.
And Grey's Anatomy, again, I was genuinely amazed it's still going as well.
Yeah, I think most people are.
Massive following.
Oh, yeah.
So,
totally.
I can guarantee more than half the people listening to this podcast will be in love with that show. So, absolutely go and check that out as well. Yeah, Miss T. Hayes as well on Instagram. I'll put all this in the show notes too. Anywhere else, people, are you one of those weirdos on Threads or X or Twitter, wherever it is now?
I don't really do much else than that. Everything, I just try to streamline it to one place, I think.
Yeah, nice. A lot less hate on those on Instagram as well. I was on Threads for a little while and not a good place, I don't think either. Better than Twitter, but still not great.
Yeah, I don't know. I never had Twitter, so I definitely got Thread when everyone was getting it, obviously, because Instagram kind of got it, but I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, I say deleted it. I don't think you can delete it without deleting your Instagram.
That's what I heard. I'm too terrified to delete it now.
I just deleted the app off my phone, was what I mean by when I say deleted it.
Yeah.
But
stressful.
Yes.
Stressful.
Too much.
Stressful.
But the same as every week, you can find Won't Be Forgetting That pod across Instagram and YouTube. You can find myself, Seb Muirhead, Muirhead, across Instagram and YouTube as well. If you did enjoy this episode, please do tell a friend. Word of mouth genuinely helps so much with podcasts. Tell you what, a little 5-star rating and a review in your podcast listener of choice, that helps as well. But once again, thank you, Tamzen, for making me sweat profusely on my own podcast.
I apologize.
No, please, never apologize. I loved it. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.